Alright, so it appears that the main claims that are put forth by the affirmative are that fracking harms the environment. Firstly, this is true, but it's also true of pretty much any energy creation. Like any energy creation or storage or usage. The storage of crude oil is also a source of methane emissions. Methane emissions from coal and through the mining process and the burning process are also a problem. But it's not such a problem too much with in fracking operations. Apparently, recently, a study was shown where the containment measures employed by energy production companies can capture up to 99% of the methane released from natural gas fracking operations in a National Academy of Sciences report. And in addition to the methane release, there's other issues, but fracking for natural gas isn't as much of a problem as other fossil fuels are. Other fossil fuels are a much bigger contributor in environmental issues. So by fracking for natural gas, you're kind of getting the better of the possible solutions to our energy crisis that we're having. Because right now, coal emits more fossil fuel than, or emits more carbon dioxide than any other fossil fuel right now. And then right behind it is petroleum oil, which despite being a little bit more efficient, it's still contributing a lot to the greenhouse gas effects. But with natural gas burning more than twice as clean as oil or coal, natural gas is the cleaner solution of the fossil fuels. Now, another issue that they brought up was that there's a lot of wastewater in fracking. Now, this is also true, but when compared to other energy sources, it's not that bad either. Fracking requires a lot of, the volumes of water used in shale gas production receive a lot of attention, but often without comparison to other industrial uses. So, biofuels are right behind coal in water use. And then nuclear plants also have insane water consumption issues. And not only is their water consumption huge, but nuclear power plants also contribute a large amount of waste through the enrichment of uranium fuel or uranium oil into the it ruins the water quality of the water sources around it. One thing that the fracking industry is doing to reduce the problems with the water waste is pretty much every single fracking operation is now using recycling to cut back on the waste. They will either reuse the water or treat it and use it for non-drinking cases, like gray water type of things. And then better on-site, like she mentioned that the water is open air and it's releasing gas into the atmosphere, but it's getting better with the regulations that have already been put into place. So the newer ponds are meeting the stricter requirements that are put into place. Also, in terms of toxicity, she mentions that there are a bunch of toxic drilling fluids that are used for fracking, but again, technology is decreasing the intensity of how toxic it is. Houston-based energy giant Halliburton Inc. has developed a product called CleanStim, which uses only food industry ingredients in their fracking fluid, and other companies have also developed non-toxic fluids as well. In addition to the drilling fluids, there's also proppant technologies which are being developed which allow for less water-intensive fracking. Now, if you don't understand what fracking is, in addition to the water, they shoot out, it was originally sand, but due to the inconsistency of sand, the efficiency would go down and the sand wouldn't fill the gaps that it needs to. But new companies such as Oxane out of Houston have begun developing more efficient proppants for use in fracking wells. They've developed a new line that they call the advanced ceramic proppants, which are basically ceramic balls which make the efficiency much higher than it used to be. Now, lastly, she talked about that fracking and using natural gas doesn't encourage renewable energy. But the problem with renewable energy is that it's not at a point right now where it can make our energy problems go away. Renewable energy is going to take decades before it becomes stable enough to contribute a lasting amount. But what the use of natural gas does is it's a cleaner transition period towards renewable energy than using the coal and oil fossil fuels right now. Because natural gas is the cleanest fuel, it makes sense to use it wherever possible in place of other carbon-heavy fuels. And as we move away from the carbon-heavy fuels, the natural gas is going to help us transition into the few decades beyond where renewable energy will be able to sustain itself. That's it.